There are two certainties in American life: death and neighbors judging your lawn height. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on 49 housing rules so bizarre, they make paying taxes feel fun. Brace yourself. Some of these make even common sense pack its bags and leave. 1. Ever thought a clothesline could be a criminal offense? Welcome to the wild world of upscale California living, where fluttering laundry is treated like a public menace. In many of these fancy neighborhoods, hanging your clothes out to dry is strictly forbidden, because apparently nothing screams decline of civilization louder than a few socks doing the cha-cha in the breeze. Forget property values. It's the rogue underwear that's the real threat. So if you ever dreamed of launching a clothesline business, better stick to selling scented candles or designer dog collars. Those are much easier on the million-dollar eyeballs. 2. Florida's retirement communities aren't just about bingo nights and early bird specials. They're full-on kingdoms where golf carts rule supreme. But don't get any funny ideas about tricking out your ride. Some homeowners associations there have more rules for golf carts than NASCAR has for pit stops. We're talking restrictions on colors, modifications, parking locations, and probably even the volume of your horn. Dreaming of rolling up with neon lights, flame decals, and spinning rims? Hope you also dream of HOA violation notices, because you'll be racking those up faster than speeding tickets at a college frat party. 3. Imagine lovingly planting a wild explosion of flowers in your North Carolina front yard, only to be told it's a botanical crime scene. Yep, in some communities there, the gardening police are real, and they don't mess around. Certain neighborhoods regulate not just what flowers you can grow, but how they're arranged. Petunias too messy, roses not symmetrical enough. Congratulations, you've just triggered the landscaping committee. And trust me, these people act like they're auditioning for Law and Order Special Plants Unit. Gardening, the only hobby where creative freedom can get you fined. 4. Patriotism isn't just encouraged in some Oklahoma neighborhoods. It's practically mandatory. In these communities, displaying the American flag on designated holidays isn't just tradition, it's a rule. Forgetting to raise Old Glory could earn you a stern warning, or worse, a passive-aggressive note from a neighbor written in cursive, so sharp it could slice through steel. It's the kind of thing that would make George Washington both proud and mildly concerned. So if you're the type who forgets what day it is, maybe invest in one of those automatic flag-raising machines. Yes, they exist. Welcome to America. 5. In Washington state, your security camera might be the real criminal. In some neighborhoods, installing cameras that point toward public streets is strictly forbidden. Why? Because privacy is taken so seriously that even inanimate objects can be labeled as too nosy. Imagine a world where your Ring doorbell is treated like a tabloid journalist lurking in the bushes. Want to protect your car from getting keyed? Too bad. Someone might feel spied on. Honestly, at this point, it feels like the only acceptable home defense strategy is training squirrels to patrol your yard. Quiet, discreet, judgmental, perfect. 6. In Vermont, letting your hedges grow into a leafy fortress isn't just frowned upon. It's forbidden if they mess with your neighbor's view. Here, scenic beauty isn't just a bonus. It's practically a constitutional right. Got a shrub dreaming of world domination? Better grab those shears because once it starts blocking the sightlines, you're officially the villain of the block. Vermont's message is clear. Your love for overgrown greenery stops where someone's Instagrammable sunset begins. It's all fun and games until your lilac bush becomes public enemy number 1. 7. Think a fence is just a fence? Not in parts of Connecticut where building one is closer to submitting an art project for very judgmental critics. The rules can dictate everything: height, color, material, even the decorative flair or lack thereof. Want to install a towering iron masterpiece that screams Gothic romance? Well, tough luck if it clashes with the suburban, wholesome picnic vibe. Around here, even your fence has to mind its manners. It's like living in an open-air HOA Pinterest board you didn't sign up for. 8. Only in Austin, Texas could you get applauded for saving the planet and simultaneously get scolded for messing up the neighborhood aesthetic. Homeowners who want to install rainwater collection systems visible from the street need official approval first. Because nothing says, keep Austin weird, like bureaucracy for your eco-friendly barrels. Go too rogue with your setup, and you might just find yourself in an HOA standoff where the real rainstorm is passive-aggressive emails about visual harmony. 9. In New Jersey, putting up a bird feeder in certain neighborhoods is a high-stakes gamble. Sure, it sounds innocent. You're just trying to feed a few cute sparrows, right? Wrong. Apparently, the next thing you know, raccoons, bears, and the entire cast of a nature documentary could be throwing nightly block parties in your backyard. Local regulations restrict feeders in some areas to avoid turning peaceful cul-de-sacs into scenes straight out of Wild Kingdom. Congratulations! You just wanted to help a chickadee and instead summoned a small bear uprising. 10. Pennsylvania takes winter seriously, and so should you, unless you enjoy the thrill of being sued over a snowdrift. State law requires homeowners to shovel their sidewalks within 24 hours of a snowfall. But here's the kicker. If someone wipes out in front of your house before you've cleared it, you could be legally responsible. It's like the weather and the legal system decided to play a team sport, and you're the goalie who forgot his gloves. Miss your window, and it's not just the snow piling up. It's the lawsuits. 11. In Arkansas, installing a rain barrel could spark more drama than a reality TV reunion. Some neighborhoods regulate them so tightly you'd think they were hiding national secrets inside. Sure, collecting rainwater is great for the environment, but heaven forbid it ruins the uniform look of Mrs. Henderson's prize-winning azaleas. It's like Arkansas is saying, save the planet but make it fashionably invisible. So if you want to hydrate your tomatoes without inciting a local uprising, better make sure your rain barrel is as low profile as a government spy. 12. In parts of Florida, your dream of living behind a lush green privacy wall hits a very specific ceiling. 8 feet, to be exact. If your hedges stretch even an inch higher, you could find yourself in a heated neighborhood showdown, complete with passive-aggressive notes and measuring tapes at dawn. Apparently, privacy is a privilege, not a right, especially if your foliage dares to obstruct someone's precious view of the palm trees swaying dramatically in the breeze. Welcome to Florida, where even your shrubbery has performance reviews. 13. In Tennessee, setting up a backyard playground isn't just a weekend project. It's a full-scale diplomatic negotiation with your HOA. That adorable swing set you bought to keep the kids entertained? It better blend into the neighborhood aesthetic, or risk being ordered down faster than a rebellious teenager at a family dinner. Bright colors, whimsical slides, or anything remotely fun-looking might just be deemed an eyesore. Congratulations! Your backyard just became ground zero for suburban politics. Hope your sandbox is HOA compliant too. 14. Snowfall in Philadelphia isn't just a winter wonderland moment, it's a legal booby trap waiting to happen. Homeowners are legally required to clear their sidewalks within 6 hours of a snowfall. That means the second those flakes hit the ground, so does your freedom to lounge around. Dreaming of cozy mornings and cocoa? Think again. Sleep too long and you could wake up to a fine bigger than your snowman. In Philly, even Mother Nature can't save you from the Department of Streets. 15. Dreaming of sipping cocoa by a crackling fire in Aspen, Colorado? Unless you've already got a wood-burning fireplace, keep dreaming. New installations are banned in an effort to keep Aspen's famously clean mountain air from turning into a smoggy mess. It's a noble cause, until you're freezing after a day of skiing and your only option is an electric fireplace that sounds like a microwave and looks about as comforting as a screensaver. Aspen, where the air is clean and your hearth is suspiciously silent. 16. Arizona doesn't mess around when it comes to their iconic cacti. It's illegal to remove, damage, or even casually relocate them without an official permit, even if the cactus is turning your front yard into a personal obstacle course. Seriously, these spiky overlords are so protected you might end up facing hefty fines just for pruning one wrong. So if you're tired of being jabbed every time you get the mail, too bad. Welcome to the desert, where even the plants have better legal representation than most people. 17. In Illinois, your garage door isn't just a slab of metal. It's a moral statement about your commitment to neighborhood aesthetics. Some communities require garage doors to match the house perfectly and remain spotless at all times. Got a scratch from a rogue bicycle or a dent from a careless teenager? Time to repaint or replace. or face the judging eyes of your HOA, who are definitely measuring the depth of that dent with scientific precision. Apparently, garage doors have reputations to uphold, and so do you. 18. Paradise has its limits, even when it comes to drying your beach towel. In Hawaii, certain communities ban hanging towels over balconies, presumably to protect the view from slightly damp fabric. After all, what's the point of living in a sun-drenched paradise if your neighbor's drying Speedo ruins the Instagram shot? Instead, you're left trying to dry towels inside, where they turn your tropical condo into a sauna. Welcome to Hawaii. Come for the beaches, stay for the petty towel regulations. 19. In Missouri, the phrase "close enough" doesn't fly when it comes to property lines. If your fence even dares to sneak a single inch onto your neighbor's land, they have every right to demand you move it. And, for extra humiliation, they can make you pay for the survey proving you messed up. One wrong measurement, and suddenly you're not just a bad neighbor, you're a villain with a tape measure. Missouri, where passive-aggressive notes escalate into invoices real fast. So measure twice, argue once. 20. Building a rooftop deck in Washington, D.C. is less about construction and more about navigating an Olympic-level obstacle course of regulations. You'll need official approval for everything: height, size, even the style of your patio furniture. Want a cozy rooftop hangout with colorful beanbags and fairy lights? Ha! Not unless the Historic Review Board decides your throw pillows meet the Founding Fathers' standards. Welcome to the capital, where democracy lives. But your rooftop dreams need a permit. 21. Thinking of brightening up your garage door with a colorful mural in Texas? Some towns there would rather you just paint it beige and be done with it. Unauthorized artistic expression is treated like an act of civil disobedience. You could be the next Banksy, but if your masterpiece isn't HOA approved and neutrally toned, it's getting power washed faster than you can say creative freedom. It's the Wild West, except for art. There, it's beige-only territory. 22. California may worship the sun, but if your solar panels are visible from the street, brace yourself for HOA outrage. Some communities prioritize aesthetic harmony over saving the planet. Yes, renewable energy is great, as long as it's tucked discreetly behind the hydrangeas, where no one's delicate sensibilities can be disturbed. Imagine being fined for daring to harvest sunlight too publicly. Climate change? Sure, it's urgent, but let's fix the view first. 23. In Colorado Springs, whimsical lawn decor is a dangerous game. That adorable army of gnomes you lovingly placed around your garden. Turns out, you might be breaking city rules if your whimsy quota exceeds the local limit. Too many ornaments and you're suddenly a public menace. You thought you were creating a charming wonderland. City Hall thinks you're running an illegal theme park. Moderation, they say, even in magic. 24. In North Dakota, even your driveway is a political statement you didn't know you were making. Gravel and asphalt are grudgingly accepted, but get creative with brightly colored pavers and prepare for a stern letter about neighborhood uniformity. Apparently, the world would crumble if someone's driveway looked slightly more fun than asphalt sadness. Expression starts at the mailbox and ends precisely 1 foot before the curb, buddy. 25. Dreaming of toasting marshmallows under the Los Angeles stars? Not so fast. In some neighborhoods, open flames are strictly forbidden, even in your own backyard. Fire pits? Banned. Open fireplaces? Nope. Your dreams of cozy fireside chats are getting snuffed out faster than a cheap birthday candle. Looks like it's time to invest in a microwave s'mores kit, because nothing says authentic campfire experience like melted chocolate nuked in 30 seconds flat. 26. Once upon a time in Orlando, Florida, daring to grow tomatoes in your front yard was considered an act of suburban rebellion. Certain neighborhoods flat out banned front yard vegetable gardens because apparently zucchinis were too visually offensive. It wasn't until 2019 that common sense prevailed and the ban was overturned. Before that, cultivating carrots near the curb was basically treated like a public disturbance. You could have a plastic flamingo army, but a lettuce patch? Scandalous. 27. In Dallas, Texas, lawns aren't just patches of grass, they're status symbols that must remain unnaturally green at all costs. Some HOAs demand pristine emerald carpets even during brutal droughts. Letting your yard turn a dignified brown? Grounds for neighborhood shame. Water shortages? Pfft. Grab a hose or face the consequences. Forget about eco-friendly xeriscaping. If your lawn isn't ready for a PGA tournament at a moment's notice, you might as well be committing a felony. Honestly, at this point, just roll out artificial turf and call it your eternally hydrated miracle lawn. 28. Imagine finally landing your dream home in San Francisco, complete with the holy grail, a private driveway. You proudly park your car, only to come back to a fat parking ticket tucked under your wiper blade. Why? Because in some neighborhoods, you actually need a permit to park on your own property. Meanwhile, someone blocking half the street with a rusty van? Totally fine. It's a place where real estate costs millions, but common sense apparently couldn't afford rent. 29. In states like Utah and Texas, holiday cheer comes with an expiration date. Strict neighborhood rules dictate when you can put up and take down your decorations. Want to keep Santa up through July? Not unless you want to be labeled the seasonal delinquent of the block. Those twinkling lights better vanish right after New Year's, or you might get an HOA warning letter wrapped tighter than a Christmas present. Nothing says festive spirit like a ticking regulatory time bomb. 30. Planning a fiery protest against your HOA president for those suspiciously high fees? Not so fast if you're in Kansas City, Missouri. There, picketing outside private homes is straight up illegal. So unless you want to experience local law enforcement's version of holiday spirit, you'll have to vent your rage somewhere else. Starbucks protest signs, anyone? Nothing like staging a freedom from HOA tyranny rally next to someone ordering a pumpkin spice latte. 31. Thinking of building a cozy little shed in Oregon? Break out the paperwork because you'll need permits, inspections, and possibly a priest to bless the site. Even if it's just a humble spot to store your rusty lawnmower, zoning laws treat it like you're erecting the next Taj Mahal. Nail 2 boards together without a permit, and suddenly you're public enemy number 1 on the building department's most wanted list. Congratulations! You just tried to organize your garage and accidentally started a legal drama. 32. In parts of Colorado, your tree isn't just your tree once it starts creeping into someone else's yard. It's a diplomatic incident. If a branch so much as dares to droop into a neighbor's airspace, you're obligated to trim it immediately. Or they can hire someone to do it for you and slap the bill onto your front porch. In the Rockies, even the flora needs a GPS to stay in bounds. It's nature's way of reminding you. Fences may be polite, but pruning is mandatory warfare. 33. In certain historic neighborhoods in Virginia, chimneys are treated like sacred artifacts. Even if your chimney hasn't seen a real fire since Benjamin Franklin was alive, you're legally required to maintain it in pristine condition. Crumbling bricks? Peeling mortar? That's a citation, my friend. Functionality doesn't matter. It's all about keeping up appearances so that your useless, decorative chimney can continue lying to tourists about its fiery past with dignity. 34. In Nashville, Tennessee, your dreams of making a fortune renting out your guest bedroom might hit a legal brick wall. In certain neighborhoods, short-term rentals through platforms like Airbnb are completely banned. That's right, your charming Southern hospitality could earn you a fine instead of a 5-star review. Want to sneak a few guests past the rules? Better be ready to live like you're running a speakeasy for brunch tourists. In Music City, it's easier to become a country music star than a part-time innkeeper. 35. In Michigan, even your dog needs a permission slip to roam free in your own backyard. Some housing communities enforce invisible fences or strict leash rules, even if your property is fully enclosed. So, unless Fido has a degree in stealth operations, he better get used to being electronically leashed. In the land of the Great Lakes, freedom is for bald eagles, not beagles. One wrong move, and your good boy becomes a tiny criminal in the eyes of the HOA. 36. In Louisville, Kentucky, freedom of speech apparently ends where your lawn begins. Here, even harmless yard signs like garage sale or vote for Bob are regulated with a suspicious level of scrutiny. Unless you're promoting lemonade stands, world peace, or something delightfully bland, you could find yourself in a bureaucratic showdown. It's like the city wants you to have opinions, just not ones printed on corrugated plastic in bold font. 37. In New Mexico, owning an adobe house comes with an unexpected side hustle: amateur historic preservationist. If your property features traditional adobe structures, you're often legally required to maintain them using authentic materials. Dreaming of swapping mud for modernity? Dream on. Around here, the past isn't just remembered, it's legally enforced. Welcome to the land of enchantment, where even your walls have ancestral pride. 38. In parts of Nevada, if you want a lush green lawn, you better also want a hefty fine. Some neighborhoods mandate xeriscaping, aka covering your yard with rocks, pebbles, and the occasional cactus. It's great for water conservation, but less great if your landscaping dreams involved anything green and squishy. After a while, your yard doesn't feel like a cozy home. It feels like you're living inside a giant decorative fish tank. Hope you like gravel. 39. Always dreamed of installing a towering windmill on your Kansas property, conjuring up images of rustic charm and endless prairies? Not so fast. In many areas, there are strict height restrictions. Apparently, Kansas can handle 1,000 miles of empty sky but draws the line at a 30-foot DIY energy project. Harness the wind, they say, but only in bite-sized, regulation-approved portions. 40. In Miami, grilling on your balcony isn't just discouraged, it's straight-up banned in many buildings. Imagine standing on your balcony, ocean breeze in your hair, burger in hand. Then imagine a building inspector slapping it out like you're a rebellious teenager. Fears about fires trump your culinary dreams. So unless you plan on lugging your Weber down 5 flights of stairs, it's cold sandwiches or bust, baby. 41. In parts of Illinois, trying to grow tomatoes in your front yard is practically an act of civil disobedience. Some neighborhoods ban vegetable gardens out front entirely, forcing your rebellious zucchini dreams to retreat to the backyard like a culinary resistance movement. Want a lush vegetable paradise visible to the world? Congratulations, you're now the neighborhood radical. Maybe one day your front yard carrots will win hearts and minds, but not today. 42. Carmel by the Sea, California, is the kind of place where even your doorstep can't dare to be ambitious. By law, steps at entrances can't exceed 12 inches in height. Why? Because apparently every home must look like it belongs in a fairy tale, or at least like it was designed for hobbits on vacation. Practicality, schmaticality. Struggle to carry your groceries up those dainty dollhouse steps? Too bad. Around here, aesthetics reign supreme, even if your hamstrings don't. 43. In parts of Louisiana, your front porch isn't just a place to sip sweet tea. It's a battleground for architectural purity. Certain neighborhoods require porches to match the home's original style down to the very curve of the railings. Want to jazz things up with a modern, minimalist twist? Prepare for the HOA to swarm faster than mosquitoes in August. Down here, porch rebellion isn't just frowned upon, it's treated like architectural heresy. 44. Dreaming of downsizing into a cozy tiny home in New York State? Dream smaller, then get rejected. Many areas require homes to meet minimum square footage laws that effectively ban the entire tiny house movement. Your Instagram-worthy minimalist cabin might win hearts online, but try setting it up legally and you'll hit a wall faster than you can say, open floor plan. Around here, tiny is just another word for illegal. 45. In one Kentucky community, pink flamingos are treated like public enemies. Lawn decor featuring these cheerful plastic birds is banned outright. No exceptions, no appeals. Apparently, a splash of pink whimsy is considered a threat to neighborhood dignity. Want to express yourself with a yard full of smiling flamingos? Not here. Your only option is to hide them indoors, like contraband or dreams. 46. In Charleston, South Carolina, shutters aren't just ornamental flourishes. They're serious business. Historic homes are required to maintain functional shutters, the kind you can actually close in the face of an angry hurricane. Fake, decorative shutters? Please, that's blasphemy in the holy city. If your shutters are just for show, expect stern glares from the preservationists, and possibly a fine hefty enough to ruin your next historical walking tour. 47. Living in a charming, historic New York City brownstone sounds amazing, until you realize installing a satellite dish is basically an act of treason. In historic districts, you need official approval to bolt anything too modern onto those sacred bricks. Want HD cable and decent internet? Sure, but only if it doesn't interfere with the delicate illusion that it's still 1895. Progress is fine, apparently, just as long as it's invisible. 48. In Tennessee, your driveway has a very strict job description: parking. Thinking about shooting hoops, holding a garage sale, or tinkering with your latest mechanical monstrosity? Forget it. Some neighborhoods ban any driveway activity that doesn't involve a car quietly sitting still and minding its own business. Turns out your driveway isn't yours. It's a glorified museum exhibit for your vehicle. 49. Washington State demands that your lawn look like a botanical magazine cover, whether you have the time, money, or willpower or not. Well kept here means perfectly manicured grass, no visible weeds, and certainly no wild natural landscapes daring to express individuality. Thinking of letting your yard go wild for the bees? Nope. Around here, a single brown patch is treated like a crime against suburban humanity. Some call it community standards, others call it legally enforced insanity. Which of these rules would have you packing a suitcase or filing a lawsuit? Drop your war stories in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Things only get weirder from here.